Hello everyone, my name is Septario Ferintarozi with student ID 2015061052. Here I want to tell you I'm afraid to speak English. People will look at me. What if I start a conversation with a native speaker and I suddenly forget words? What if I just can't support a conversation like I want to be able to use my English. I have so many firsts. What should I do? Hey guys, welcome to Lingo Marina. Today we are going to talk about those questions that arise in your head whenever you are confronted with a situation to speak a native speaker in English. I just wanted to say, like first of all, I'm pretty sure you have heard that many times that it just all in your head. But I know we need to kind of dig deeper and talk about your first because I had to first, like even now when I speak Indonesian, uh, because I'm a perfectionist, I get very nervous because I know I make a mistake and I know I forget words. I know everything like this happen and my face turn red. And I just it actually start happening like when I relaxed. My Indonesia is a lot better. Like if I'm in an environment, just talking to friend or just talking to someone at store, it will be like really smooth language. When I start thinking like, oh my god, like this is one of the reason I stopped record video about Indonesian, just because it's been dislining and I have those first, but I also have them in English. With English, I understood that English is a tool, it's an instrument, and that is I use to improve my life. And without it, I won't be able to achieve my new goals. I won't be able to get to new levels of whatever YouTube of my company development. So today I'm gonna start with first number when people are gonna look at me. The only time I have been looked at in terms of my English is when like left in real life, like I get much cut about my accent a lot on social media, but it happened because I get hundreds of thousands of views and I understand that even kittens get dislike on YouTube and there will be people who are unhappy with whatever I'm doing, and just because I'm doing it they will be posting bad comment and hating me for whatever I don't. But I also understand something, it's actually good to have that good to have that feedback because people tell me, oh Marina, that was wrong, the pastor was correct, but they are not looking at me, they're telling me how to improve, and I accept that with gratitude. So the only time I have been looked at actually happened, but when I was talking to my friend and I told him I was so hooked up with this person. Like I wanted to say that we are really connected with a person, but I used a partial verb to hook up with someone, and it actually means have a sexual relationship, and this not what it was not what it mean. And another time it happened recently on Instagram. I came to a baker store and I post a story that I missed his meat. And meat in American conversational English, when you say I missed his meat, means I missed his penis. And again, people look at me, but I thought it was funny. Like it's not like, and it was like people, oh my god, Marina, do you know it has a second meaning? It's not like they are angry at me for making that mistake. I was like, a friendly advice. So I have never ever had like people in real life like look at me like say, oh my god, your English so bad, what are you doing here? Never ever happened in my life. And I started practicing English at the age uh, 14, and I was hanging out with really means, like teenagers can be really means, and they can tell really bad things in your face, but never had has that ever happened to me because people understand that I'm making an effort to be understood. They understand that I come from a completely different culture and that I have never spoken English to my parents or to my grandparents. So the only exception here is social media. Like if you are speaking English and social media, just be really ready to get those head comment. And even if you are perfect in English, even if you are 102 out of 102 on TOEFL, and you post a video how you got that score, you will still, like, if it goes viral, you will still get comments from people. It's impossible, your English is not good enough, etc. Like the world always be people on social media hating you, but in real life they're like, this teeny change is gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen, guys. Native speaker, especially American, especially British people, are very friendly in real life. People who I meet, people who I talk to in English, even I was intermediate, they were they were really friendly and really supportive. So it's all in our heads, and I think if you have this fear in English, like people will look at you, you probably have it in other aspect of your life. So I just another reason for you to sit down with yourself and thinking about, like, I don't have to be liked by everyone, and again, I'm a person who has thing feeling all the time. I wanted to be liked by everyone. I want it. I'm fighting like this one. It started my channels. I realized that I can be liked by everyone, but it was really hurting me everything time. I read something negative about myself, and I talked to me a while to understand and to realize that my goal is to use my talents, is to grow as an entrepreneur YouTuber, whatever, as a mom, and do the best that I can what other people think about me. It's other people's business. They have their own understanding of reality. They have their own experience. Maybe they just have a bad day, but I doesn't have anything to do with me. And if you want to dig deeper in this problem, I really advise you to read a book, The Courage to Be Disliked. It likes it's like one of those books that I started reading last year. I think last year is had this, I don't know, personality crisis, but I was like, I don't want to do this done. Want to do it, I'm afraid to do this because people would comment and they would be unhappy with what I do. And I started just doing a lot of psychological research, and I started reading a lot of books, and that was one of the books that really helped me. Like it just talk about how you can control other people emotion. You can control what they thinking of you. What you have to do is focus on what you can do the best, is focus on your goals and start and achievement them another things. It could recommend watch the one. On Netflix, it talks just about this woman entrepreneur who has little ruthless, and she not like a role model that I want you to follow, but just talks about like how she deals with all the problems that arise when I thinking like if I were at her place, I would have definitely given up. But she continue going. I really encourage you to read those books, to watch the one on Netflix, and to just read interviews related to topic, because this will help you in your real life in general, not just with English. Of course, you will realize it that you know that the majority of people won't look at you, and if they will, it is their problem, it's not your problem. You're doing your best, you're practicing your English, you are putting effort into being understand by people who don't even speak your language and don't even make. And even to learn your language, okay, psychology class is over. Let's move up to come participle advice regarding other things that you can do. So there in another fear, what if the conversation gets too complicated and I won't be able to support it? Also get this fear, like for example again, I can really relate to this in English right now because my language is pretty, I would say pretty advanced to talk about all kinds of topic. But with Indonesian, I can totally relate. And when people start asking me about business, I understand that I will start a conversation. Will talk about my company. But if they start digging deeper, I won't be like, oh my god, this is too complicated. And what in 2018 I had to have a surgery in Indonesia, and I was surprised that I was actually able to communicate with doctor and nurses about medical stuff, because basically when we talk about English, we have 100 words that makes up to 18.6 of the conversation, and what you really need to know it, those 100 words. If you go into specific conversation, you can always ask for definition of like specific words. So it was in Indonesian doing that surgery. It was like and what is this in Indonesian? I can say that in English, or I could show you on Google, and once is learning like 5 or 7 words that I needed that were related to surgery. That conversation became really easy because you don't need to know like the whole ID or surgery medical business vocabulary to support and advanced conversation. All you need, if those 100 words, and also if you are like, oh, I don't know how many words I know right now. This doesn't actually matter if you understand this video. That means you know about words to support a conversation. So start practicing, and if you forget a word, if you don't know the terms, if you forget a word, you can just Google it on your phone with Google Translate and show your party this is word, and you will be totally fine. And this is, by the way, the way you learn this word really fast. This video is brought to you by Skillshare and Resort that I kept recommending to you guys, and they have an amazing course about self-care that I want you to explore. It is a short course. It would take around an hour to complete, but it goes through the things that we talk about in more detail. It talks about how you react to people that around you. The course is called Revolutionary Self-Care. Embrace, nurture, and grow your authentic self. And it talks about things that we have already talked about in this video in more detail, like how to take risks, how to ask for help, how to find your authentic voice, how to be yourself instead of trying to follow other people, with lines instead of trying to do things that another people expect you to do. Just follow your gut, like check or that course. And if it's the first time you heard about Skillshare is this amazing online learning community for creativity, where millions of people come together to take the next step in their creative journey, explore new skills, deep in exciting fashion, and get lost in creativity. Skillshare has been created specifically for learning. That means that, that there are no ads, and they constantly add new classes for their premium members, and it costs less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. The first 100 followers who hit a link below will get free trial of their premium membership. That means that you can take a course that I have recommended completely for free. Just go there and explore the power of 2 short classes. They are really straight to the point, and yep, please take the course that I have recommended if you are expressing those problems with like overthinking what other people thinking of you. Again, the link is below. The first 100 of my subscribers get access to a free trial of Skillshare premium membership now. Let's continue with the another question. Is what if I feel shy? What if I stop and freeze? Okay, this can happen as well if you are too nervous about the conversation. The trick that helps me a lot is to pretend that you are someone else, because again, stopping and freezing has to do something with what going on with you eternally. Like maybe you are again thinking that people are gonna log at you, and just there are so many thoughts in your head that you can just processing them. So imagine that you are different person. You are speaking to a native speaker. You are probably in a new country. Nobody knows you, and when this conversation is over, you will part ways with the person. So try to pretend your favorite movie character. Try to pretend you are an American. If you are in America, try to pretend that you are this famous blogger that you really like that you really like. I don't know, to pretend to be someone else just for this conversation. It just lets your first go, and it helps you become more confident when you speak. What if I offend someone? That's another fear. And one thing I want to remember here is that we walk to a person, people pay attention to our body language, to our facial expression and emotion. And even you say something incorrectly in English, they won't understand you didn't really mean it. And also they won't understand, like if they tell you about something and you don't understand, but you just say yes. And a lot of time people will tell you, but you didn't understand right, and they will explain in other way. It's okay to say, oh, I didn't mean that, sorry, was I was that offensive because my English is not good, it's okay. But if you are smiling, if you are open, the people will understand 100 that you didn't mean to offend them, that it was like, oh my god, I'm sorry. That is something that we are used to in our culture, or mix it up the word people understand. Now let's wrap up this video with a couple of tips. If you have an important conversation English coming up, maybe you have an interview with a university, or remember when we were preparing of combinator interview, it's an accelerated accelerator here in Silicon Valley. The worst mistake that you can do is actually overthink. It makes sense to prepare. It makes sense to go through questions that we are asked before in this kind of environment, like through question at university. Ask during the interview, go through questions that people are normally asked, but I would say take your time prepare for 2 hours, but I don't take long, because when it take too long, when it take days. We over prepared for a combinator interview, and instead of relaxation before it, instead of just catching the vibe of Silicon Valley, we were just brainstorming how we are gonna fight their small company that is trying to do the same thing, and people there didn't even know about it. And like now, when I look back at it, it's important to know what you are talking about, like to tell your story. I don't know why you are interested in this, so that university, this or that subject, but don't overthinking, like they will probably ask basic question, or if they ask some complicated question, it is almost impossible to predict what they are going to ask. So learn some basic things, but then let yourself relax, watch something in English, just put yourself into the environment before the conversation of before the test, so that your brain switches from your language into English. It will be a lot easier. The next step be nervous and do not it anyways. Michael Jordan once said, being nervous isn't bad. It just means something important is happening. So many tips here, and did an interview with Justin Khan on Silicon Valley Girl, and he said, don't be afraid of your emotion, don't suppress them. Tell yourself, okay, I'm nervous about this conversation I'm gonna have in English. It's fine. I understand that I'm nervous because it is an important conversation. I understand that my English is maybe not good enough, and I haven't practiced it a lot, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And I'm gonna use this conversation as practice, and after the conversation I'm gonna sit down and think what's good and what was bad. I was really bad, like analyzing things afterwards, because I'm this perfectionist, and when I saw the video I don't wanted to see it. Just I understand I could have done better, and this is an endless process, but I actually taught myself to look at numbers. I taught myself to actually sit down and think what I did wrong and what could be done better, and it helped a lot with your progress. So after the conversation, sit down with yourself and think, did I do everything I could do? And if you know, just have some tips for yourself for the next conversation. And I have this note in my iPhone where I just put in this that I could do better in my video, and I have those tips. Always look at before an important video and just remind myself that I make mistake. It is okay. It's good. It's I know about them. I'm gonna be better in the next video. The next tip, do it until it feels normal. Just keeping having those conversation in English. Keep being shy. Keep being nervous. At some stage, you are gonna be tired of it, especially if you are in a English speaking country, or if you are applying to university. Like I have a lot of people here in the US who are applying in the university, mostly children of friends oh my god, I'm so old. But they're applying to like 24 college at once, and interview number 10, you just get tired of it, and you just get used to it, and you don't feel nervous anymore, so keep doing it. And also, add to the growth mindset, something we already talked about, like I'm bad at speaking English. My accent not good enough yet, but I'm using this way to practice. I'm using this accent conversation as my way to improve, learn to look at yourself. Life is simple. We overcomplicated so many things. We tend of thinking that this meeting is game changer. It is not. You can always do another meeting. There's so many people in the world. There's so many opportunities, and if you don't get any result from the upcoming conversation, doesn't matter. You can do a lot more conversation. The most important thing is that you have yourself, you have your time, you have your brain that helps you speak English. Like, don't create problem for yourself. Enjoy life. We only have one life, and I want you to go ahead and enjoy it and look at everything from a positive perspective. Especially if it's something like smaller, like conversation with a native speaker. Come on, it's gonna be fine. Life is easy. Smile there yourself that if not today, you are gonna make it tomorrow. If not tomorrow, you're gonna make it in a week. It is fine. You will get there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Up to you, up to the very end. Please subscribe this channel. And if you have friends who are struggling to speak English or any other language, please share this video with them. And I will see you very soon in the next my video. Bye.